Hi folks, welcome back to Dark Room Reviews. There has been a topic, a very important topic, at least to me, that's been going around YouTube these past couple weeks, and that is why people still collect physical media in 2026. And has it changed? Has the model of collecting, has it changed? We'll get into all that. When it comes to certain topics like these, I'm going to speak from the heart. But first, consider subscribing to the channel. It really means a lot. Please give this video a thumbs up. Why I still collect? I thought about that question for a little while. I don't know if anyone else has brought this up, but I think it's one of the last few remaining great hobbies. As long as people continue to do it and support it, then it's going to be around. Sure, you might look at it, it's irrelevant now, the hobby, and it's forgettable. It's not almost non-existent. I think back to the times when I was a kid. I begged my parents for a Disney movie or to go to the video store. Those times where my parents decided to rent a movie. They were aware of physical media and how big it was, how movies were big and bombastic, and theaters were packed. So all that was bright and shiny. That idea was bright and shiny. My parents carried that idea of the glitz and glamour of Hollywood movies and brought home a VHS tape for the family to enjoy. If you weren't owning movies, you were renting from outlets, video stores. Your local Walmart sold physical media in store for a price, and you brought home that latest Disney clamshell case. Let's say a Goofy movie. A Goofy movie was one of those movies that I begged my parents to get me, and they did. I didn't at the time. I didn't understand our financial situation, but it's just one of those moments that I carry with me. I think very few people know this about me, but I grew up in a small town. Once upon a time, we had a Blockbuster, and right across the street, we had a Hollywood Video, and in between those spots, we had a mom and pop's video store. I'm just so grateful to live in a town like that where those options were available to me. What's also changed is the type of movies have gone from the Nickelodeons of the world, the Disney channels. From there, I discovered horror movies, and it was thanks in part by my uncle and my cousins. I went over one day with my dad, and a horror movie was on. Leprechaun was one of them. Warlock 2 was another one. That genre stuck with me. It was like a seed that was planted, and it grew and it grew. During the time when I was discovering these horror movies, I discovered the horror section at my local mom and pop store, and was amazed by these fascinating, gruesome, scary covers, not knowing what the movie was about, but they just caught my attention. That curiosity grew and grew until I was old enough, late teens, early adult, to rent my own stuff. I kind of got lost. I was like Alice in Wonderland, getting lost down a rabbit hole. I remember renting at Hollywood Video, I think it was like Redneck Zombies. Yeah, don't ask me why I rented it, but I do remember laughing hysterically that night. It's just experiences like that make it fun, make it worthwhile in a sense. But yeah, weird, obscure movies. The Hills Have Eyes from 2006. Some of those movies were, disturbing to say the least. For a Uterine collector growing up, you might have noticed VHS tapes lying around your house. I remember we had a cabinet of VHS tapes. I don't know if you're following along, but this is like the evolution of my personal experience as a movie collector. In my 20s, living my best life, having a job, single. Horror movies were my world. Video games were my world. My local Walmart was thriving in the physical media section. I didn't go to the nearest Best Buy. I didn't go to the nearest Target because those were, practically an hour away. So I had to work with what I had. And Redbox. Those Redboxes were stocked weekly with brand new movies for a low price. Let's talk a little bit about how physical media has changed, at least in the buying perspective. 2019 was like the last big year, I would say, of everything being normal as far as buying movies and collecting. And pandemic hit. Oregon was one of the first states to have everything shut down, non-existent. The movie theaters especially, walking into a store with a mask on, and that was just the normal. It was the Twilight Zone to me. Straight to streaming was a thing that got introduced. A lot of things went to HBO Max. A lot of things went to Disney Plus. While companies like that, streaming services were skyrocketing with popularity, and customers signing up. The idea of buying in-store physical media was becoming not non-relevant. Theaters became the wild, wild west, where if you were brave enough to go to see a movie, you have to wear your mask. And so all this stuff kind of filled my head. And at the time, I wasn't on YouTube. So this is really my story, how everything came about. Yeah, I wasn't big on Amazon. I wasn't aware of Groove. I wasn't aware of Screen Factory or Arrow or all those little boutique labels that are alive today. It's just, it's a whirlwind of situations that occurred. I always fell back on knowing I had movies on my shelf. So that was sort of a comfort. That was sort of a comfort for me. This was 2020, so Hollywood Video was long gone. Blockbuster was long gone. Redbox was still around, but not keeping up with the latest hit movies. But the mom and pop shop was long gone. It's been a long journey, to say the least. To really kind of culminate, to really sum up my physical media experience journey, it's been quite the ride. Some ups, some downs. Incredibly just touched, grateful to be on the ride, this ride as a collector. Has it changed? Yes, it's changed. A lot has changed. Thank you for sticking with me through this whole video. Guys, look out for more content very soon. Take care.